Morning all, how we doing? Who we got? Morning. Haven't got a clue who we've got. Been messing around, the cameras wouldn't start this morning. So we got the cameras started this morning and we're off. I'm just off screen, I'll whip back over the text. Hope I don't miss anybody.
I'm not doing anything.
So, morning Chris, morning Roy, morning Barry, morning Leroy, morning Colin, morning Just a Basic, morning Mark, and morning Malcolm, morning Steve, morning Colin, morning Barry, morning Four Kings, morning Anthony, morning Chris, morning Fred, morning Hans, morning TJ, morning Elena, morning Gav, morning Robert, morning Martin, morning John. I ain't got time to read all the comments, I'm just scanning down here quickly. Morning Nick, morning YV, right, morning Robert, morning Jennifer, morning, good morning, morning Mark, morning all, morning anybody I've missed. I was just quickly trying to scan over who's got up and in here this morning. So, good morning, what's the time? It's Saturday. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to go turning. So, what we're going to do this morning, quick start, isn't it? Quick start, flying start. Computers, hey, who'd have them? We run 4 cameras. That's a bit like a sketch, isn't it? 4 cameras, 4 candles, all that. Run 4 cameras, 3 of which decided they couldn't see the computer, and computer couldn't see them. Restart the computer, delete all the cameras, reinstall all the cameras, and we get there. So this morning we're going to do a bit of spindle turning, sort of. I've got a block of wood. There we go, block of wood. Let's bring that into focus. So you can see it's a fair sized block of wood. We're going to do a oliformy type vase, but I probably won't bother hollowing. That's boring, isn't it? So we're going to do the decoration on the outside, and then I've got to cross my fingers and see if I remember how to holler it out afterwards. He says, tongue in cheek, holler it out afterwards once all the decoration is done. It's probably not the best way to go about it, because obviously if we go and ruin the hollering, then we've lost our decoration. But it's a demonstration, so for demonstration purposes we'll do the outside, won't worry about the inside, or we may do the inside. Let's come to an overhead camera, because you didn't see any of that, did you? So what I did, ruler corner to corner, and in my infinite wisdom, I was doing a job for someone the other day, and I've left me centre punch.
They want to know if you're turning a house.
On the other side of the workshop. A house, yeah. We could turn a house.
How much would a lump of wood be?
A lump of wood like this would cost a few bob. I had a block of wood that was 18 by 18. Now this corner's missing, so I've just got to eye this in roughly. A lot of you will say, well, your turning's rough, so it'll marry up. So, no, nothing lost there. Shaving won't get out of the way. Yeah, it was a big block of wood. I had 18 by 18 cube of wood, 8 inches thick. So I've made a 8x9 blank out of it, and I've got a bit spare for later. So let's do that, move that out of the way. And I think I gave 60 or 70 quid for this block of wood. I was going to do it as a one piece thing. Never got round to it, and I was looking for a bit of wood this morning, and I thought, oh, I know, I've got that block of wood. It will get divided up. It's been over in the old
What wood is it?
garage for a while. What wood is it? It's woodwood. Typical woodwood, this. Lovely grain, woodwood. No, sycamore. Most of what I work on is sycamore. So we're going to just do that up. There. Knockout bar in the other end. Not this, I've got a big steb on the drive, 1.25 inch steb, live centering, lock her all down, and that should be good. Make sure my lathe speed down. We don't want this flying around at high speed. Not yet anyway. So I'll bring the tool rest up, lock that down, turn it by hand, and we're just a tad out there. So we're not that central, but we're not far out. Okay, so smock up, glasses on, all that sort of stuff. And I was going to push the controller for the cameras to turn the lathe on. It shows you what I know. So we're just going to slowly advance the speed. I'm out of the way of it. Spinning fairly well there. We're at about 450 RPM. Little spindle roughing gouge in my hand. Slide the rest up, bounce the bevel, and then gently come along the tool rest and lock these corners down. Tool's in my side and I'm just leaning backwards and forwards along the tool rest. I don't talk too much while I'm doing that because the old chips are flying up and I get a mouthful of chips.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That's very kind of you. You haven't seen what's going to happen yet. Right. Back on we go. Then we get the speed up a little bit more. There we are. We're about 556 now. 6, something like that. Backwards and forwards across the tool rest. Handle down nice and low in my side. No pressure on the tool really, just let that cut. Bring that tool rest up a bit closer. Ooh, look, it's had a bit of worm in it. Right.
Do we know what Ed's got in mind for today?
Ed don't know what he's got in mind for today. How's that? Right, so advance the speed a little bit more as we get it in more into balance. looks like a firework going off, doesn't it? All the shavings pinging up in the air. What I should have done is sprayed it a colour first, and then as they flew up in the air, it would have looked like a firework. Didn't have any fireworks this year. I was going to have fireworks. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get to the shop. No fireworks. Disappointed. Never mind. See that out of balance there? It started to bounce the lathe, so it's still a bit out of balance. You don't like that speed. We have to stick to our sort of 600. That there, I skipped along the surface because I had a lump where I was moving too quick. Just trying to get us around. Quick as possible. Gonna have to clear the shavings up later. Karen can do it. Right, we're just peeling them away. Let's see where we're at. We're not too far out now. That's why it's bouncing a bit. There's a bit of softwood there where the worm have been in. We're nearly round. So, nearly round enough. Let's get rid of that spindle roughing gouge somewhere safe. Over there. So now I'll bring in the old bowl gouge. And while we're bringing it to round, we'll start putting a bit of shape in this. Get a little bit more speed, not a lot. So I'm just coming in with the tip. Got a little bit too much wood there. So as I do this, all I'm doing is my right hip is into the lathe. Let's try the old, that one, no, not that one. Let's try that one. Double, no, you can't see. Oh, you can, no, you can't really. And we'll go back to that one. What I've got is I've got the tool into my side, and as I come round to get my curve, I'm just raising my handle and twisting my right hip away from the lathe. And start getting my curve in this edge here. Slow process when you're spinning slow. Let's get rid of a bit of that. Feed the gouge through. the way. Get it out of the way. Right, so we've got a bit of a shape coming on there, a bit of worm there. We'll get rid of that. And we'll start on this edge and bring the shape round. We're nearly round. Actually, I might run it along so we can bring it a little bit more to round. I see a couple of flat spots in there. Get rid of that. So I can use the gouge to do this. I can roll the side bevel, roll the gouge in, and then use the wing of the tool like a roughing cut, and that shoots the shavings away from me. Let's see if we're somewhere near it. There's a couple of flat spots. Bring this up, and now we'll carry on putting our shape in the... what we'll do is we'll square off this top, and that'll bring it more into balance. We're about, I would say we're about nearly 3/4 of an inch out from the top. So if I lock this down, do that, do this, turn that on, and we'll just come in and get rid of some of this. Bring that into there. It's got it a bit straighter. Need a little bit more. This will balance it up. This is going to be our top, obviously. This is going to be our bottom. It will go into, well, not obviously, but that's what's going to happen, because this will go into a chuck in a minute. So, a couple more cuts there. So we can get a bit more speed now. Not a lot. 700, something like that. Feed the gouge in. As I come in, I'm just raising the handle slowly. Keep it cutting on that centre line. There. That'll do us there. Cut the splits and cracks in it. It's a problem with big bits of wood. That's normally what happens. I'm not worried too much about that. So I'll bring this round now. Start putting a bit of shape into what will be the bottom, and build up a bit of wood ready for the mounting point for the chuck. So it's all rough shaping at the moment. No, not rough turning. Anybody that's thinking that, that's wrong. Rough shaping. There we go. Now we just bring the back of the bevel on, lean the handle towards the lathe. Twist your body into the lathe as you go. And knock this out of the way. as I come round there, I'm using a bit of pressure. Nasty worms, they go deeper than I thought for. Well, not the end of the world. Bit of that will be turned away with the spigot. Nasty little worms. They do like this soft, sappy wood. Somewhere there. Just filling a bit of wood up at the bottom for the spigot. While keep pushing in a bit of shape. Somewhere there. Just neaten that up a bit. Roll the handle into there. Let's have a look at that worm. I'd like to get rid of that. It's not going to go easy, is it? Right, we'll get round that with a bit of sanding and gluing and stuff. You're not going to see the wood at the end of this anyway. Who wants to see wood? Right, I'm just bringing the tool rest now round into centre, and we'll just start bringing a bit of wood in here for this spigot. Gives us a bit of wood to make a spigot in a minute, and a seating area for the face of the chuck, and we'll come back over. It might look like a brandy keg at the moment. It won't look like that for long. You know and I know. Let's bring that tool rest more up there. A little bit more speed in this now. Using more of the wing of the tool just to remove a bit of this wood now. Go back the other way. Bit of butchery at its best. Just get the wood out of the way. Right. I'm just working out where the transition for the curve's gonna be. Somewhere there. Go faster, go faster. come, one back the other way. Someone's phoning up on a Saturday morning. Don't they realise we've got more important stuff on a Saturday morning? We've got to get some turning done. Now we're getting our shape. So you can see an idea of the shape. We'll fine tune that in a minute. Still got a flat spot there, so we've got a little bit more to go. Let me get rid of that. Somewhere there. Roll that over there. Somewhere there. Now when I'm looking over the back here at the horizon, and I can see the curve then. Lose that about there. That's it. There's somewhere near where I want to be. There's just rough, not rough turning, just roughing out. So now we're going to do our chuck thing. Now, did I have a chuck? Did I have a chuck? I got a chuck. It's all right. Found it right under my nose. Should open my eyes. That there. Chuck key. Hold off cut of wood, stick that over there. Should we use, just change the jaws on this. You can't see that, I'm off camera. All I'm doing is winding out the jaws.
I reckon you only got 40 quid worth of wood left.
Probably only 30, but once I finish this masterpiece is going to worth thousands. Thousands it is. Right, so just find me chuck draw numbers. I have to put these in sequence. That's number 3. That's number 4. That's number 2. That's number 1. Lovely. So I'm just sliding these in here. I haven't got a camera on this end of the lathe because I wasn't planning this. Hey-ho. Let's bring that in. There's 1. 2, 3, 4, wind them up, make sure I got it right. Oh, look at that. Almost know what I'm doing of. You can't see that, so you just have to trust what I've told you. So I'm just getting my vernier now to make my spigot size. That there, I think. A little bit more. About there. My jaws shut up at 50 mil. And I'm just bringing the spigot to around about 55 mil, so I get a slight gap down the side. Turn the lathe on and then we'll mark our spigot. Shall I come on the side? That one might be better. So, now my arm's in the way, isn't it? I can't do this with my arm out of the way. So, oh, what about that one? Try that. Now, my hand's in the way. Oh well. Left point in, right point out, in, out, shake it all about, do the okey cokey, and you turn around on a Saturday morning. That pencil line is for you guys so you can see that I've marked the spigot. That's where I've marked my spigot to. So I'm now just going to peel in a cut. Should have cleaned the lathe bed, I think. Might be a bit of paint on it. I don't know how that got there. There. And we're just going to make this spigot. I just want to see the depth of my jaws. So my spigot depth is around about 15 mil, so I want it about 14 mil, so I'm just off. That's to about there. I've got a little line. My little line is about there. Let's come back overhead. Just about there. That'll be roughly my depth for my spigot. And then if I get my favourite little skew, or any skew would do, and just, oh, now, what's happened there? Oh, nasty crack. We got a nasty crack runs down here, and it come through the spigot, so we got a flat spot on our spigot. Nasty little crack. So we'll just take this to round. Always more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. That'll be our dead zone. Right. Try again. Just peeling into my pencil line. That there. Somewhere there. Now I was just forcing the cut, so we got a bit of vibration through there. I'm just trying to remove the wood. I can check this now to see roughly where we're at. We're about right. So now we'll tidy this spigot up, get it fairly square. Because these are gripper jaws that I'm going to use. Back there, and now I've got to make sure. Here's the crucial bit, this end. Come over there, this flat, that's crucial because the jaw's got to sit nice and squarely against that. If I stop the old lathe and check, and I've just got a slight hollow in there, so I'm just going to tidy that up. High point on the edge, so just pick up the finest of cuts here. I think that should have it. Let's have a look. Nice and flat. That's what we want. Nice and flat. Nice and tight against there. So because I've taken a little bit more off, I've literally given myself another mil, but I think that was all right. I was allowing 2, so I should be fine. I will take just a shaving off, just to make sure. There. Make sure that little peg's not too big to get in our way, and we should be good to get in the chuck. Now what I am going to do, because we've got this nasty crack here, and this crack comes out like that, just where we didn't want it, and it comes up through the piece, up through here, all the way up here. So that's going to get a douse of super glue in a minute. Always be wary when you get nasty cracks like this. We could have a chunk of wood come out of there. She's solid here, nice and solid there, but she does come in an arc through here. So we'll glue that with some thin super glue in a minute. But first and foremost, let's get this into a chuck. So I get the blank there, undo me chuck, like so, and then I can use the weight of the chuck to sit down on there and then tighten it up. So it pinches up there. And then I can inspect it, if we come back overhead, to make sure that the face of the jaws here are nice and tight against there. And because I've left a little gap just in there, around about 4 mils, something like that, I can see that it's gripped all the way along the spigot. So I've got a nice tight spigot mount there. I'll knock this drive stem out of the way, just clean the lathe bed off a bit, get rid of the old elbow stabber there, don't need that anymore, get rid of that, slide the tailstock out of the way, knock this out. So what I was using to drive it was 1.25 inch steb, big chunky steb, so it gave me a good lot of grip area because it was quite a large spindle blank, obviously. So chuck into here, and then I can just put my locking pin in the headstock there. Give this a pinch up to make sure she's gripped. So give it a tap that way and we're all locked on. Karen, you've got to come and clean this lathe. It's looking grubby.
I'll give up working.
That told her, didn't it? I don't know. Put my foot down. And she's running true enough, so that's cool.
Is Sycamore the same as Maple?
Yeah, same family, sycamore and maple. exactly the same family. Now, we're cracks running down here, so let's deal with the crack. I've got some thin, I thought I had some thin CA, it's empty. Let me get another thin CA.
Go to the sweetie shop.
I'm going to go to the sweetie shop, as Karen calls it, and get a tube of thin CA. Tube of thin CA, and I need my accelerator, which I wasn't expecting to use, and I think I've put it away. Oh no, I can see it. Now the reason I'm using thin CA is because the crack here, I want the CA to get down in that crack. There. Give it a second. And then I'll get my accelerator and just give that a blast. I'll get a little bit more in here. We might turn it away yet, but I don't know. Get a bit of accelerator on there. And then I'll just go back over this crack here. Oop, wrong lid. Thin CA gets down into the crack, so it's the better CA to use when you're dealing with cracks. I use the chestnut one there. Now, don't do as I did with a bit of burr elm a while ago. There was loads of cracks in it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to save this. So I've got the piece of wood in my hand, and I'm piling in CA. And I think that's taking a lot of CA, and I kept piling it in. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh no. And it had gone straight through, and my hand was firmly stuck to the bowl blank. I could do that, it wouldn't come off. So I keep the bonder by my sink purely for the purpose of. So we'll give that a second to go in. It looks like it's gone in. So we're going to have to listen and be careful here with this crack, and we'll probably glue it up again in a bit. I'll see how we go. It's what I would recommend, because I'm doing a live demo for you guys, and I'm talking so the mic picks me up. I don't want the sound muffled, but if you're dealing at any time at the lathe really, you want your face shields on, and you definitely want your face shields on if you're dealing with a bit of a crack like this. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to be foolhardy. Let me grab a face shield, because it could go pop, and I don't want to ruin a beautiful work of art, i.e. my face. So here we go. So I'm now wearing my face shield, so the sound might sound a bit different, just while I'm finishing off the turning the outside shape of this piece, and then I'll re-CA it and sand it and let the sawdust get in there. It might be a bit more of a problem when I'm hollowing it later, but we'll see. So I've got my rough shape, so now I'm just going to refine my shape. And I won't spin this too fast, because centrifugal force could pop this crack. So just light cut. The tool's bouncing a bit as it hits the CA. into there like that. Let's have a look. Now I'm going to keep inspecting it. Now I can see my crack. I've got away. I'm cutting more to get away from the crack so I could see how far it goes. And it goes in here. So we could lose, I don't know, 2 inches of this. But it doesn't come up here. So I think we'll be all right. So I'm going to take this off the lathe again in a minute and glue it some more. Because this will be underneath. So it'll be all right for hollowing out. But it'll have to be a fairly thick-walled vessel so I don't interfere with this crack when I hollow. So I'll take that into consideration. But this is not designed necessarily to be a thin-walled vessel. It's just a way of combining decoration. So that's what we're after doing. So that'll be all right. We'll glue that up. But I won't be able to hollow it thin because I've got from here to there. So I've got 2 inches. So if I went thin, I'm definitely going to expose this crack and this will just pop out. So I'm not going to do that. So I'll bring the curve back the other way. Get the gouge up the right way might help. I'm going to leave that bit at the top there for a minute because I might just have 2 bands. I'm going to put a band in this, so I just want to bring this curve so it flows. At the moment it's not flowing. Just using the side wing of the gouge to rub the bevel. Cutting just under the tip gives me that slicing cut. Up into that shoulder. Let's have a look at this. I'm checking out this crack, so that's started to disappear now. Thing is, we don't know how deep it is. It might only be a few mil, it could be a lot. But it's disappearing there, and it's disappeared from there, so it might not be as deep as I'm thinking, but always allow for the worst. So now my curve flows there, but looks bloody awful up here, so I need to push this curve round so it flows all the way round. Lose that cut back there, and then just bring this round. Into there, I've got a line there, let's get rid of that. Raise the handle a little bit as I go. Into there. Still not quite right at the top. I'm going to take that rim down because that's distorting things a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating a bit of a cove by rubbing the back bevel, picking up the cut and then twisting myself away from the lathe, like so. I didn't want to do that, that's it. Didn't have the bevel engaged properly. There. I've just got a bump there. Let's bring that round. Just using the side of the tool. Just nice and gentle round there. Right, now that flows. Right, I've just got to sort this little rim out here. I'm just going to get the tip of the tool, bring it back to the body of the vessel, brush that out. I had a chip in the edge, it's still a little chip, so another little fine cut. Just pick that up so the curve flows into this neck. There. I'm just checking that it flows. That's all right.
I want to know what's clicking. It's your...
The chuck jaws, the carrier. Just click, 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 click. Okay, nothing much to worry about. My crack here has come down to here, so I've got this sort of half moon crack in there, but that will be all right. Okay, so that's the bulk of our turning done. Then what I'm going to do is sand. I might just flatten off the top of this neck. I don't want it as steep as that. I want a little curve in there. I think it'll look all right, but that's not quite where we want it. Let's move that back out of the way. Bring this in to here somewhere. Drop tool rest down, bit high. This is just for the visual of the piece. Bit heavy-handed in there, just trying to remove that, and yeah. Facial out of the way so I can see what I'm doing of. I think that works for me. Okay, so fin CA in this crack again. Get some accelerator. Now I think what I'm going to do is, because the way that crack is running on the underside, to get some glue into it, is just remove the chuck from the lathe and stand the piece on its head, so to speak. So it becomes an Australian piece. There we go. You come from a land down under. Never know what goes through my mind at times. So there's me crack running through the underside there. You see that line? So I'm going to get some super glue in there. Just in there. Get that to sink in there. Load it in. Give it a spray. Tip, don't wipe super glue with your finger. Still sinking in there a little bit, so we'll go again. It's got it. Yeah, I think that's got it. Okay. So I'm happy that that's now glued up. Just get the chuck key. This will tap up on here. Okay, so now we've got to do a bit of sanding. Bring the old sand extractor up close. Get rid of the glue and everything off my lathe bed, because you know what happened there, that will go everywhere. Boom, boom, everywhere. And what I might do is just put a bit of glue in these wormy holes here. Like so. Give it a little spray. The reason I sprayed it is so I don't get covered. Because none of you want to see that, I know. Cheers, Paul. It's very kind of you. Oh, just got to open a few vents and shut a couple of vents. That one's got to be open. This one's got to be shut. Karen can't reach the vents, so I've had to just whip round, shut the vents off. Right, so little sand. You have to get a bit heavier. I was using 120, that's good enough for the wood, but it's not good enough for the glue. So I want to get rid of that glue. Get a bit of 120, I've got to get rid of that glue. Bump just there. Now bring the gouge in. Gonna bring the gouge in really lightly just to take that high point of glue off. Real fine. That's got it. Right. Get rid of that. Come back in here with this. Just sand this off. Because we're going to colour, we've got to get the surface right, because it will show it all up. Into there, and just get this net. Try that. Yeah, that's alright. Got a couple of wormy holes there that are not great, so now we'll fill them, but what I'll do now is use a fixie, because I'm using it more as a filler. Dab it over there, over the wormholes. So I'm using thick CA because I'm purely trying to use it as a filler. If they're still in there, they'll be glued to the wood, they won't come out. So that's one way of getting rid of worm. The other way is microwave it. So, because I'm going to sand the glue and the sawdust together, I'm going to get a bit of glue splitter. So back with me face shield. Get ready with me sander and straight in. That's got the little blighters. So, what we're going to do now is literally just run through a couple of grits. That was 80, and I'm just going to do a quick down to 180. So spin this into there, quick 120. Bit of 180. There. Should have dealt with that crack. I can't feel the crack now because it's full of glue, so that's worked. Got this bit done. There's our shape. So what we're going to do now, any of you that were keen-eyed this morning would have seen a new tool behind me. We're going to use that tool, and what I'm going to do is just mark a line here and a line here. I don't have to mark that, I can see that. So if we come back to the head-on camera, what I've got over here is the new Simon Oak. We've started stocking texturing tools. So let me get that out of there, and a texture wheel. 2 wheels in the kit, 2 wheels in the kit, and they just screw into there. Oh, hold on, didn't let me little grub screw off. There's a little retaining grub screw. Need that camera down a bit, down a bit. Right, there's a little retaining grub screw there. Wind the head on. There, and then you do the grub screw up to capture the head completely. There, and locks it off. Now I can rotate this whichever direction, whichever. I've got to hold it up higher. Down here you can't see a thing, can you? Well, I'm twiddling this, so I can rotate this wherever I want. Nice little tool. So as you can see across here, got Woodturning. You can see that. So, and I've got my glasses on so that I can see what I'm doing as I come back overhead. So with the tool rest away from the work, I'm presenting this tool like so. And I just want to put a texture in between them 2 lines. turn the speed down a little bit. I'll texture it around about 600. And I've started to put a nice texture in this surface, so I'll come again. Just push the cutter into the work. And then we got a textured band through the middle there. Okay. Now I'm going to marry this up, I'm going to texture the collar here. That tool rests away a little bit. There. Push it in. Run it along. And now we got a textured rim and a texture in here. Not too deep, but enough just to give it a little bit of extra something. So that's the new Simon Oak texturing tool. You can see the texture, or you might not be able to see the texture, but it is in there. So let's get the tool rest out of the way. And now we're into the colouring part of the demonstration. We're going to use the Joe Sonia Gesso first. Give this a good shake up. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Everybody. Everybody. Got a little brush to apply it. And I had a little pot somewhere. Let's do. That into there, a little paint tray, and then I'm just going to paint this in, get it into the texture, around the rim, into that texture. So I've got a couple of wormholes that I can see, so I can get that into there, hide them. So this is why it didn't really matter, the wood was cracked too much, and with the glue hiding the crack up, I was always going to cover it in this gesso, get that into that texture line. Let's get a nice even coat on here. Work it down into that texture. That's the idea. Just like that. Lovely. Lovely. Nearly there. That texture there, sit into that shoulder and there. Paint that into there. Get that in. Brush it through the texture. Try and get a nice even coat. And we just run round it and make sure we've got it all. Know what it's like when you're rushing? Less haste, more paste, all that sort of stuff. Right, that dries out pretty quickly, but of course, no demonstration would be the same unless we use Mrs. Oliver's hairdryer. She realises she's now lost her hairdryer. And I know you all like watching paint dry, so that's what we're doing. Eh? Oh, right. Karen's just pointed out I put my reading glasses on to see the line, but none of you picked up on it. So she said I ought to put my glasses against the black so you can see. Well, this were my glasses. That's last week's paint. We noticed it earlier today. They're my workshop reading glasses, and they're covered. Something else that fell foul. So, there's our pot, covered in paint, gesso, black gesso, and what I wanted was, I wonder if that worked, probably worked. Never drunk the coffee this morning, just seen it. Stone cold. That's rubbish, isn't it? What we're going to do now is use our sponges. Find a bit of sponge with a bit of texture on it. Yeah. So we've got a bit of gold iridescent, the Joe Sonia iridescent paints. I'll get that in the camera. We're going to be using them. Just got to give them a shake up. They've got a bit thick. And get rid of the dust. I've got dust all over me smot that's going down onto me paintwork. Hold on, let's airbrush this off. Right, that's airbrushed that off. So what I'm going to do now is in the old paint tray over here, put a bit of this in. That's the red. Put a bit of gold in. So I've got red and gold. Got violet. Bit of violet in there. It's not coming out. What's happened there? Ah. That won't come out. Take the cover off of it. Stupid boy. Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Bit of violet. And a bit of blue. Karen, in that cupboard there. Pull that bit covered out of the way. Some gilt cream on the left. Right, so I've got 4 colours here, and what I'm going to do is stipple these on the little low pots. Gold. In random places as we go round. And you can see the iridescence of this coming up against the black. You see the colour shining through, shine on through. There we go, a bit in there. We can do this quite random. Now we'll pick up the next colour and blend that in. All quite random. I'm quite good at random. I'm just coming up to this textured line. Try a bit of that in there. Bit of gold going in. That in a bit of red, get it in there, bottom there, got to work that in there. Up to the texture line, up to the neck there. Bit of gold in there. And you just play with this obviously till you've got it where you want it to be, sort of. Don't matter that I'm using the same sponge tip because I'm blending the colours in. As we go, get that into there. I want to cover all the black really, that's my aim here. Put that gold in there. Bit of gold in there.
Is so better than black ebony spray?
Is it better? No, it's no better as such. I think it works well when you're doing this sort of thing. I used ebonising lacquer quite a bit, and you can get the same sort of effect with the ebonising lacquer, The gesso dries quicker, that's for certain, for demos, so that's part of the reason why I use it. And it gives a nice matte finish, where the ebonising lacquer is more of a gloss type finish. Let's get some red in there. I'll lose that black line there, that's it. Get that in there. What colour we got left? Let's have a bit of that. Now, like all colouring projects, you wouldn't necessarily finish this in one sitting. You know, you could come back to this a bit, sort of look at it and go again and again and again. But I am trying to cover the black.
It looks blue and white on the screen.
Does it? All right. Evidently it looks blue and white on the screen. Trust me, there's gold in here. Violet. Reds. The white will die down a bit when it dries, but I want that sort of smoky type look. Let's get a bit of that in there. I'll just overlap onto the textured area. I want to make sure I've got into that foot area there. Might need a bit more gold, I think. Bit more gold. There. A bit of that in there. Bit of gold through there. Bit of gold up there. A bit of red in there. That is a bit of red in there. A bit of gold on top. Just colour it around till we're about there, and you would just carry on building these colours and building and building and building.
Do you need a medium for this paint?
What?
A medium. Don't put it in there.
A medium? No, I just put it on. This is straight out the tube. If you do it with your finger, you can get a finger swirl to it, but we've just done it with a sponge and dabbed it on. There's a lot of white showing through, but the colours are going through as well. So hopefully the camera's picking up on that. There. So that's me colouring, sort of. I may come back to this. So Karen went and got me some chestnut gold gilt cream. There, gold gilt. And what I'm going to do now is just try and pick up the texture with the gold gilt. So we'll just have a band of it, just picking up the high areas through here. come over the top. Now what I've done is I've quickly, where I've done it quickly, is gone over the texture, which I didn't mean to do, so you'll just have to take this as a idea. And what I'll do is I'll gesso over the top where I don't want it to be later, and just tidy that up. It was a bit quick. It will show up better on the neck. I've overcooked the neck as well. Hold on a sec. What I'll do is get this right. So what I was going to do is frame this. So let me just move some of the toot out of the way for a minute. Put the frame in first, and then we'll come back to it just quickly. I'll come into there, get a beading tool, a bit wider than that. Got a little beading tool here, so I'm just going to come in and put a bead in about there. Just rocking this backwards and forwards. Now we're going to put another bead in about here. Just putting a couple of beads to frame these textured bands. Something like that. Now what I'm going to do, which wasn't the plan, but the overspill of the colours just ruined the band a bit. So what I shall do quickly, or attempt to do quickly, is carefully, Oliver, carefully, you're having a laugh, is paint this gesso back over what I shouldn't have done. So maybe beading would have been a better idea first, but I don't want to get the colour, the gesso, on the bead. The idea is you see the wooden bead because it frames this texture and colour. If I can just, is a bit quick now to try and show you the effect that I was hoping to achieve, but I got a bit slapdash with the colour on my textured band. So that was me being slapdash. I caused myself a problem. Now, touch this in. Nearly there. I didn't want the colour on the texture band at all. It ruined the effect. As I was looking at it, I thought that's ruined that. So we've had to come back and just touch this in. Here with that, a little bit there. Go on, go. Go away. We don't want you. It's quite good, this ghetto. Hides up everything.
I know what to do to keep you quiet.
Did you hear that? Karen said, I know what to do to keep you quiet. Little story from this week. So, Mrs. Oliver has decided in her infinite wisdom she wants this Christmas to get a real looking Christmas tree. She's found a website with real looking Christmas trees and they do look really real. So she's got this site up and I don't know how many have got on it loads. So she says to me, what do you think? Come and have a look at these. So I walked in to have a look at the trees and she said, what do you think? She said, I quite like this one, I quite like this one. And she's shown me all these trees. What do you think? So I said, I quite like that one. That looks quite realistic, you know, and the lights on it be nice. And this is not a little tree, it's a great big tree. We normally have a massive natural tree, but with the events of COVID, we decided to go off to the company where we pick our Christmas trees. Is maybe not the best idea this year. So it's been, we get the tree. So I go, well, I quite like that one. And I quite like that one. All right, she says, off she goes. And then she comes back and this is going on for a couple of days. And I've had a couple more trips to the computer. She said, right, what do you think? So I said, well, I quite like that one. It ain't really changed. So she said, right, okay. And we carried on like this. And she said, what do you think now? So I said, yeah, I quite like that one. Quite like that one. So she said, oh, right. So she carries on looking and she comes back and she said, what do you think? And I said, oh, I quite like that. I quite like that. Anyway, so you know what's going to happen, don't you? Mrs. Oliver comes over. She said, I've ordered me tree. I said, oh, what one did you get? The one we both liked? She said, no, the one I liked. So that's it. I haven't got a clue what tree we're having. I don't know why I was asked in the first place. But I was asked and I gave an opinion. Waste of time. Ah, dear. Right. Nearly there. Sorry. I wanted this to show you the effect, and the slapdash colour did not show you the effect, so we had to redo it a little bit. Let's get that in there. That in there. Talk amongst yourselves, we're nearly there. Bit of overrun today, but it'll be worth it, trust me. That's great. Right, that's better than it was. Let me do that. Another show of the hairdryer. Let me get another show of the hairdryer. Bring that out of retirement again. Right, now, a quick guilt cream. The middle there. Everybody's still awake. That's what I want to know. Right. And when I use the guilt cream, what I do, this is a bit rushed, I rub it between my thumb and forefinger to make sure there's no lumps. And this would normally be done with 2 or 3 coats. Light coat, come back, another light coat, come back. But I'm just conscious that I want to show you it done. And it's taking a little bit longer. Oh, now that was a bit heavy. If you go heavy with guilt cream, you can remove it with a bit of thin oil, like a lemon oil, a citrus oil, some description. But let me just get this in here. You'll see the effect. I can tidy it up. Whenever I'll get round to it. It's through here. Yeah, and I just want to do same on the neck.
Just come on.
Pat Carroll's just come on. It's 10 o'clock English time, Pat, not Irish time. Loving the new lathe. They look really smart. Right, okay. So, that was a bit rushed at the end because didn't go quite to plan, but you wouldn't expect anything else. If it went quite to plan all the time, then something's gone wrong. So if I take this off of here now,
You might see the colours.
you may see the colours better. This would be lacquered once dried. So let me get to that camera. So there. Can we see the colours more now? Oh yeah, I think so. And then with the bands, you work the gilt in a bit more, so it's a bit blodgy there. We wouldn't have the blodge, but you'd see the black texturing with the gilt highlight coming through, breaking up the colours, and then once finished, it'll be lacquered up to a high gloss. There. There we go. So there's... oh, thank you very much, Pat. That's kind of you. You've only been here 30 seconds. So there, you've got it. If I bring that into the camera a bit more, texture probably showing better on the top. But this, you wouldn't have this blodge, okay? You would just, let's get to a clearer bit. There, you just get to the sort of highlighted gilt. Going too quick, too mad, gets a bit blodgy. So I can go over that with some thin oil, thin it out and then redo it. So, but there's a coloured olive form that will be hollowed, and it's combining using a Joe Sonia iridescent along with texture and gilt cream, textured with the new Simon Oak texturing tools that I'm now keeping. So there's this morning's demo. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's inspired you to go and throw some paint on your lathes. I don't think they're too nice, clean and shiny. I think they need to be enhanced. The enhanced lathes. There's another Saturday morning gone flying by. Bit longer than normal. We've still finished before 12, but yeah. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Christine. Michael, kind of you. Cheers, Derek. To gloss it, once it's dried, I just use probably the last one I did. I used just an acrylic lacquer over the top, but you could use acrylic or melamine. But I would spray just a spray can of gloss lacquer and a gloss lacquer and build up the coats and polish it up. Helen Bailey, keep it clean. It is clean. Not a bit of paint anywhere today.
The snake hasn't come out as you ate it.
Where's the snake? Where's Slippery Sid? Oh, he's watching, Slippery Sid. Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Glad you enjoyed it.
It's 5 a.m.
And it's, yeah, I want 1,000 lines, Pat Carroll. I must not be late. Pat Carroll's at IRD tomorrow night. I think it's 7 o'clock Irish time. He can type it in if I've got that wrong. So wander along to Pat's website. You can read all about it. It will be hollowed. The chat's going up quicker than I can read it. It will be hollowed. It will be cleaned up and lacquered up, and then I'll put a picture up of it. I might do that this afternoon actually, because I've had enough of work. Yeah. Thanks, Nick. Cheers, Jennifer. Thanks, Don. Yes, Mick, I think Mike would have loved that. He would have been away, yeah. Cheers, Chris. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, Irish time. Irish time. Princess is scared to watch in case you eat her. It's alright, I've got no liquor, Helen. You're safe. Or Princess is safe. Cheers, Andrew. Have a great day. Thanks for coming by. Cheers, Brian. Yeah, go and have a go. That's the idea. Cheers, Martin. Glad you've enjoyed it. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Alf. Just a basic. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Mole Valley Maker. Thank you all. Thank you all for popping along and sharing another Saturday morning in the Oliver workshop.
Like and subscribe.
Don't forget, like and subscribe before you go, unless you've hated it and then think you didn't like it. Cheers, John. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, John. Thanks, TJ. Bye, Derek. Cheers, Clive. Cheers, Peter. Steve, thank you. Barry. Oh, thanks very much, David. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Cheers, Griff. Cheers, Steve. Cheers, John. Bye, Barry. You're off. Thanks, David. Thanks very much. Donations, kind of you. Rob, glad you've enjoyed it. Good, James. Glad you've enjoyed it. Because you guys all turn up every Saturday morning, I'm quite happy to carry on and do this sort of stuff. I enjoy it. Gives me a chance to stand at the lathe. Cheers, Roy. Glad you've enjoyed it. You'll be able to try it out on your new lathe.
Somebody's up at 10 o'clock at night.
Cheers, Chaz. Helen Bailey, thank you very much for the liquor. Ah, you poor snake. It's gone then, isn't it? If I've got liquor. Shouldn't encourage me. Bye, Vicky. Bye, John. Gonna do some turning. Well done. Cheers, Steve. Yep. Next week we will go again. Only 95 thumbs up, eh? All we ever look for is 100 thumbs up. Don't forget, as you go, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. All that sort of stuff. Thanks, Ridley. Bye, Just a Basic. Right, everybody. You're all going. I'm going. It's been a fun Saturday. Thanks for turning up and taking the trouble to watch the demo. And I hope it's inspired you to try and camouflage your lathes. All lathes should be camouflaged in some sort of paint. I think the basic colour they come in is awful. Yeah, red, green, yellows, all that sort of stuff. I hope you have a great Saturday, a great Sunday, a great weekend. If you're furloughed, if you're locked down, make the most of it. Get to your workshops. I hope everybody stays healthy and happy, and I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you very much. 105 likes. See you guys. You break my heart. You are. Thank you all for coming by, and we'll see you on the other side, or next Saturday, of course. Thanks a lot. Good day.